Hey, are you looking for insane GFX like this, or even this? Then you must join GA GFXs, one of the best GFXs shop I've ordered from so far. And trust me, I've ordered a lot of GFX. They do really good GFXs for a really good price, so make sure to check them out. It's really worth it. Now back to the main video. Alright, what's up y'all? So today we are with the GOAT setter, Mr. TNX, 3-time All-Star captain, 4-time ring winner, 2 playoffs MVPs, 2 finals MVPs, and 5 times #1 setter. Look at him. Oh my god.
Hey.
Alright, let's start this guy, yeah.
All right. So first thing to do, knowing what to call. So basically, Swad, if you can receive to me. So first thing when you know what to call, the first thing you want to do. So basically, what I like to do is set a medium. I like to set a medium to the side and call what side to set. So hold on, don't set me real quick. Let me explain it. So basically, right, setting a medium to the right is really good because when you set a medium to the right, if your left spiker sees that the setter jumps for ape, he can turn around and slide the medium. And if he doesn't jump for ape and they just jump for quick, then the right spiker can hit the delayed. So that's why that's the first thing you want to do when you want to know how to call and like what to do. And basically, based off that, you want to get a gist of like what the other setter is blocking like. So basically, let's say there's like 3 types of blockers, right? There's a type of blocker that only jumps for ape, and then he jumps again for medium. So basically that's like and then another type of blocker is a guest blocker that only jumps for quicks on one side and then just guest block every time. And those people like tend to be like the EU people, or like the people that are like not very skilled. And then the third people are like read blockers and react blockers, and they just stay there to see like where the ball's gonna go and react last second. So first thing, on people that jump for apes, you want to normally set things that will abuse that. So basically, you want to set more broad ins on that. So if you can receive to me, and if you can jump for ape,
Okay.
on the other side,
I
yeah, receive to me. So jump for ape. Basically, if he jumps for ape, you won't be able to receive a V1. You won't be able to block again for the V1. So basically, what you want to do on those type of situations, instead of V1, if he receives to me again, and on those, you want to set a broad in, because basically on broad ins, your spiker will broad in, and he will hit it on the setter. So like, because that's what the setter is responsible for. So yeah, and then the second thing for read blockers or react blockers, what you want to do on read blockers is you want to like start aping, because when you start aping, they'll like start to like be like, oh, he's aping, I gotta worry about his apes and his sets. So, and basically when you set here, receive to me, you don't want to be like, you don't want to set like this, like you don't want to be readable, you know, like you don't want to like just set like that. You want to just be like moving around. Like this, like let's say brought out left, you want to just move around, and you want to try to like do like an ankle breaker, you know what I mean? Like you want to try to like see what they're jumping for, call stuff against them, and like yeah. So basically, you have to like just test them out. You have to test what the blocker is doing. You have to call against what he's jumping for and how he's blocking, and yeah, that's about it for knowing what to call. Alright, boom. So we're on a different map. We're on the sand map because this is like better for me to ape. So the second part is aping as a setter. And this is really important too, because later on I'll be talking about how to decoy and how to start diagonal setting, and that's like really key to that. So basically, Swat, if you can receive, as a setter, these are the spots you can aim. You can cut left, cut on the left side, that means you cut to the left. You can aim corner on those, but you just want to make sure that your spikers can receive just in case you get blocked. Another spot that you can aim is top left. So basically, you want to see if the lib is like decent or like the lib is like bad, or if they have no lib, you want to start aping back row. That's like an easy point for you, and that'll be really good for you. And let's say you say the lib is good, and like, oh shit, like the lib is picking up everything. You can ape this spot called Beastie. I don't know why I called it Beastie. It's like something that like stuck to me. Like other teams call it that too, but it's like a spot that's right in between top left and the 10-foot line. So like it's like right there. So it's behind the. So basically, receivers they normally play like here and here. So basically, what the BC does is it doesn't make it fully back row, so the lib can die for it, and it goes above their heads sometimes. And that's like the same gist for the right side. You can cut right. Oh, I was out. Let me do that again. You could cut right. You can aim top right, and you can aim BC right. So like yeah, so you guys get the gist for that. And another thing that you want to do is this is another ape that's really good. You want to ape the 10-foot line. So basically, the 10-foot line, you can do a lot of things off this, right? The 10-foot line, you see that the center is bad, and you see that, oh yeah, the lib is standing over here, the spikers are receiving over here. So no one received the 10-foot line if you see that the center is not jumping for the ape. So you want to be like this, you want to like quickly do that. And off these, this is like what's the best part about it. If they jump, you could be like, hey, I'm aping 10-foot line, someone set a V1 off it. So Eddie, if you could block for me real quick, I'll show you what that is. It's Swan, set a V1 off my 10-foot, yeah? So basically, it's like that, and then another spiker comes and hits it. That's what people normally do. So I ape, they all jump for ape because I already ape, right? And then someone sets a V1 off. That's a really good thing to know about that. But yeah, that's it for the apes. Alright, so now that we talked about apes, now we're gonna talk about decoys and diagonal setting. So basically, this is the thing that mostly fools the blockers, and this is the thing that like mostly like gets the other team like scrambling about what's a block and what to like do, because when you're decoying, they might think that you're aping and they just set something off that. You see that?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
basically, yeah. So basically, what you want to do is you want to hold your spike. You want to hold your spike, and when you go down, and you show them that when you go down, the bar stops.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
yeah.
the bar stops, and then you can click again. So basically, so like you could. This all comes with timing, and it all comes with like experience. So like basically, if you want to get better at decoying, you have to start practicing them, and you have to like start like timing it a lot. So you want to time it a little bit before, like you want to start with like the balls at peak. So when it's like that, I'm like decoying, and then you have to set it off that. So yeah, and so when you decoy, you can set broad ins off decoys or V1s off decoys, because mostly the center is like paying attention to you and he jumps for you, and then you can just set a V1. Or you can do this against really good teams. They normally don't budge for decoys. You can set a medium on that. If they don't jump, if you see, oh shit, I'm decoying, they're not jumping for me. Okay, I'm gonna set a sprinted medium to my spiker. You can start doing that. You could set broad ins, because that's really good too, and you can set broad outs. And okay, so basically another thing with decoys is diagonal setting. So basically, let's say the receive is like right here, right? Let's say the receive is right here, right? You want a diagonal set to the right side. Let's say, oh yeah, broad out right. You want to be like, oh, the receive is bad, I'm gonna do that. So basically, diagonal setting, if you want a diagonal set to the right side, you just want to hold A and W, and you want to set. And if you want to hit it to the perfect quarter, you have to just test out where to aim. So mostly, whenever I diagonal set and the receiver is good, I always aim near here. So like, let's say sprint to medium right, I aim here, and it doesn't go behind, it doesn't go too close, and like it looks like you're backward setting, and then you diagonal set to the front. So like it like throws them off.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
You can like diagonally set. And basically, let's say there's four types of diagonal setting. One to the right, looking backwards, and then another one to the right. So basically, these are the spots you want to aim whenever you're diagonal setting. Here, another one is here, and then it's the other spots for the other side too. If you want to set like this. So like, let's say here, yeah. So it's like that. But like you have to like test it out. So if it's a bad receive, you have to start aiming more closer to the corner. So let's say you're receiving it here, I say I brought out. If I aim it at the same place, it's gonna be behind. But if I aim it a little bit closer to the corner, it's gonna be like more closer to the antenna. So that's what you want to base it off of. And if you want to, let's say we set a medium right, we're gonna aim at the opposite side of the corner, and you want to hold S and D, and then it sets it like a diagonal set to the right. And let's say you want to do it to the left, it's the same concept. You do S and A, and then you do S and, or you do W and D if you want to set to the left side. That's a diagonal set. And then basically knowing that, you can put them both together. So like something like this.
Oh my god.
Like you want an 8 decoy and then diagonal set. Like that thing will throw off setters a lot. That's the thing that I normally do. Right? When you set, you want to start like doing stuff that looks cool or like makes you look, like you decoy ape right when you get to the ground. And
oh my god.
But normally if you want to be good at doing these type of stuff, you have to have your set power at a higher power, because if it's not a higher power, then it's harder to decoy. Because like when you decoy, you're like, oh shit, I can't set it, it's gonna be a low. So the setting power I normally use is 48, but bro, most of the people that I know, they always use 55 and 50, but I only use 48 because that's like the OG VBA high power, and that's like just what I know. So I recommend you guys use 55 power or 53 power if you guys want to start diagonal setting. You're somewhere in that range, you could use 50 power as well if you're really like close to that. But yeah, so those are like the things for decoying and diagonal setting. Alright, so the fourth thing, blocking. So basically what you want to do for blocking is you want to pay attention to the center. And it's not only the center. So what I like to do is I like to play at a higher like standpoint. So I like to play like looking, like making my like, alright, hold on. Anyway, it's like, I don't know how to like, like put your like mouse like a little bit more down. You know what I mean? Like put your like so you can like see the court.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
more
yeah.
angled?
So that's what I like. Yeah, more angled up, so I can see like the whole court.
Like a bird.
That's what I like doing. And basically for blocking, I pay attention to the center and the spikers. But the thing is, that's like not the only thing that you could pay attention to, because the back row can ape as well. And basically, what you want to do is, if you're on high ping, you just have to thug this shit out, bro. You gotta go off what they've done in like the past sets, and like you gotta go off of what you know. And basically, when I block, I normally just stay on the net and hold my bump out, so I'm always ready. And whenever I see someone jump for an ape or decoy, what I can tell is how I know if it's a decoy or not is what I pay attention to is how they set. So if they're like brought in left, right? Brought in left, oh, it gets completely shut down. I'm gonna expect like, and okay, let's say they do a broad in left, it gets completely shut out. Oh, a medium right, it gets completely shut out, right?
Be brought out.
Then like the next set, I would expect it to be an ape. Because if two things are not scoring and they need to score, I'd expect it to be an ape, a V1, or a brought out. So you just have to guess it like that, because like, let's say the center sets to the left side 2 times in a row, or it sets to the left side once. I'm gonna be expecting the center to set the right side a little bit more, or I'll expect the center to set it again. But that's just react blocking. You have to react to that. And one key thing is, spiker decoys. Sometimes the spikers decoy, and they like make it obvious that they're not hitting the ball, and you just have to commit the other side. That's what I normally pay attention to. And like when I see that a spiker is jumping for nowhere and they're like over here, or they're like backed up, I'm like, okay, I'm not worrying about them. So basically, what you want to look at is the center's motions, because the center sometimes, depending on how good they are, they normally just do this. And when they make room for themselves, like going to the right side, you know it's gonna go to the right side. But the thing is, normally good centers, like they'll like do stuff like that. They'll try to like ankle break you. They'll try to decoy. They'll try to ape on you. So, and basically for blocking on apes, you just want to see like what they haven't been scoring and like what like they need to do to score, because if they don't score twice in a row, you have to like expect to ape at all times, because like some teams they like aping, or some teams they don't like aping and they won't ape. They'll set a V1 or something. They'll set something safe. So you gotta know that. So like safe sets are normally mediums and V1s. Risky sets are normally broad ins and broad outs. And like people rarely nowadays, I see people rarely setting V2s. But V2s are a really good call, because V2s are like, on good people, V2s work a lot. But yeah. But mostly you want to watch out for sprint mediums. You want to watch out as a setter. Things you need to watch out for, or things you're responsible for, mostly V1s, broad ins, and sometimes you're responsible for the medium. Because let's say V1's broad ins, medium. Let's say if I see them do a broad in, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna delay my block, because what if I know that they haven't been scoring quicks, so they're gonna do a delay next. Like you have to be thinking like that, and you have to be responsible for the ape, because like you gotta know like, oh yeah, that spiker hasn't got set in a while. Oh maybe I'll jump for him because that center hasn't set him. You know, that's like what you have to. That's what you have to keep in mind. And for apes, some setters they just like aping. You have to know that. Just like off the first set, basically what I do is off the first set, I'll just learn about the setter. I'll be like, oh, this setter, he doesn't like jumping for apes. He likes to read block. So basically what I would do on them is I would spike on them, I would ape on them, and I would start decoying more. Because if he starts getting aped on, the pressure is gonna be up for him, because like he's gonna be, oh shit, I'm like responsible for this and I'm not blocking it. So yeah. So basically as a setter you wanna learn how to react block. But if you're on high ping, you just wanna like, you just gotta know, you know? On high ping you can never know.
You just have
Like
to guess.
yeah, you have to look at the spiker's movements. That's what I normally do. When I play EU, I normally look at the spiker's movements and I see the center's movements. Like it's really hard to play it as an EU player on NA, but the more you play, the more you can get consistent, and the more you can get like used to it. You know, used to blocking people on NA, and like, yeah, that's it for blocking. All right, for setting, this is the last thing, consistency. Now this is like really important to setting, because consistency is like a key thing you need when you're setting the ball, because you don't want to be always setting over. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, you call something and you get the blocked up every time. This is like the main part of the video, or a video on setting. You have to practice. Like you have to practice your decoys and everything in TMs, because if you're gonna sign up for VBA, you don't wanna be that guy's like, oh yeah, he's that obvious setter. He's like really bad. He's like, oh yeah, that's a guy that only jumps for ape. Like you wanna be like unreadable kind of. You wanna be like that guy that's like has an endless bag. You feel me? Like you don't want your bag to be like stopping, bro. You want your bag to be like endless, bro. Like you can pull anything out of that bitch. Like you can do anything. You feel me? And consistently is basically off like bad receives too. Like here, give me a bad receive. So mostly like people like when there's a bad receive, they'll say like brought out, and they'll like set it like that, like really behind the pole, or Or like people would try to like set like a broad out, or like they will like set it like low. You don't want to do that. Like it doesn't even matter if you're obvious with it. You just want the ball to get there. Like sometimes you just need your spikers. You need to trust your spikers, you know. And I think the thing is, right? If it's a bad receive, and you're like V1, you can be like, okay, yo, medium, or like you can like, because you don't want to give a V1 from bad receive because that's guaranteed to be blocked, right? So Small, give me a bad receive. Like if you say V1 early and you said a V1 from here, it's so easy to the spikers just to be like that to block you. It's so easy. Like and the lib for libs, it's so easy to receive a V1 from all the way over there, and it's harder on your spikers too. So basically, for consistency, you just want to be like, you want to be confident. You don't want to like start shaking up. You could be like mid rallies. So basically, mid rallies, some people they start shaking up and they only call mediums. Like at one point, that was me. Like every rally, like I would start shaking up and I'll be like, medium. But I wouldn't call a side or nothing. I would just say medium. You don't want to be like that. You want to be like, okay, if it's a receive like this mid rally, oh shit, V1. Because if it's a receive like this, V1s are what to call, or broad ins. Those are good too. Or broad outs. That's what I like. You can set broad outs from really far away. But if it's like here, let's say the receive is here, you say medium, you can be like here. You know, you can send it to the side that they won't expect it on, because they'll expect it to go to the right side because the receiver is over here, right? You can be like decoy, it could be medium left. You know, you could change up the call anytime you want. That's the thing for consistency, and now to spiking. All right. Said and done, bro.
Alright, that's an.
This is TNX, and that was the conclusion for the setting tutorial.